Hello and welcome to Family Focus. My name is Christina O'Reilly. I am your new host for the Family Focus program from Family Service Association. I'm happy to join the agency and to take the reins on hosting this great program, which we hope will be a resource for the southeastern Massachusetts community as you care for your children, for your older friends and family, and for your own mental health and well-being. So thank you for joining us, and I'm pleased to be joined today by Nikki Medeiros, who is our Family Service Association Director of Adult Day Health and Guardianship Services. Nikki, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So today we are here to talk a little bit about our Adult Day Health Services as a whole, and specifically our newest Adult Day location in Mashpee, Massachusetts.
Yes.
So if you would just sort of open us up, tell us a little bit about what is Adult Day Health. I think a lot of people maybe are not terribly familiar with the model that can provide support to a lot of types of families.
Sure. So Adult Day Health is, for us, for Family Services, we have 4 Adult Day Health programs. As you said, we have a newest program that we just opened in Mashpee, Mass. But we have 2 Adult Day Health programs right here in Fall River and 1 in Rainham. And we've been providing Adult Day Health service for over 20 years. It is a medical program, and that's where people kind of don't realize that it's a medical facility. And we always have nursing staff on staff when we're open. We have to have a nurse in the building. If we don't, we actually can't be open. It's a service that provides many different activities and therapeutic mentoring and mental health services and social work services and medical services, meals, all sorts of things for individuals that really just can't be left home alone anymore. They need something during the day, but they're really not ready for that long-term care facility yet. We're kind of that step in between. So they come to us in the morning and we give them breakfast. We do a great exercise program every morning with them with some orientation and go through kind of just day to day. We may talk about, what you're going to do this weekend or what you did this past weekend, and just kind of have that nice conversation with them in the morning. We will go into activities and one-to-ones if needed, pull them and meet with them and spend some time with them individually. We serve breakfast, we serve lunch, and we serve a snack in the afternoon. So they're getting 3 really balanced quote-unquote meals with us that for some of our folks, they go home and they're going to be eating maybe just a sandwich for dinner or something, a prepackaged meal or something like that. So it's very important. Nutrition is a really big part of what we do too. But the medical piece is really the key. That nursing component that sets us aside and sets us different from, say, like a social day program or from someone going to like a council on aging during the day. We're kind of that next step, so your loved one or your dad or you're a caregiver for someone, you may have them going to a program like a council on aging, and all of a sudden now they're having maybe incontinence issues or difficulty ambulating. And most council on agings and things can't support those services. So the next step would be Adult Day Health. And we kind of are a hidden gem. People don't really know, you say Adult Day Health and they're like, what is that? So we really pride ourselves in being able to explain exactly what we are and who we are. So that medical piece is so important. We can pass medication while they're there. We can have people on oxygen. We can do insulin. We can do wound care. All of those things that, like I said, that step before kind of nursing home or long-term care. So it's super important. We also provide respite for family, so you're taking care of dad 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but you still need to work. So where's dad gonna go? Because it's not safe for him to be home by himself. Mm-hmm. So we're that step in between, that your loved one is cared for and safe and in a good place, and you still get to go to work every day. Or maybe you're not working, but you need to go run errands and go grocery shopping, or just go get a bite to eat with a friend and take that break from being the caregiver 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because it's super important for our caregivers to have that support too.
Great. So I think you touched a lot on sort of aspects of aging. Tell me a little more about, we also in our adult day health care, care for adults with disabilities who might be largely functional but just can't spend an 8 or 10 hour day by themselves.
Sure. So anyone that's over the age of 18 can be enrolled in our adult day health programs. And they just need an ADL need. So, something that they need help with, assistance, whether it's toileting, bathing, ambulating, transferring, and that need does need to kind of happen at the program, but they also could have a behavior need. So let's say that they are an elopement risk from home. So, they're a younger mental health client that if they're left home alone, they're going to go wander the streets, which is obviously very dangerous. Or if they're left home alone, they may, leave the stove on or something like that. So, but with us in a managed setting, those things are managed. And again, caregiver or whoever they live with know that they're safe. So our age range is so wide. So wide. I think in my 15 years of doing this, my youngest was probably about 23 and my oldest was 101. So very large range, but it works. It's actually a really nice component of what we do to have that older population and that younger population together. They learn from each other and they grow from each other and they make these relationships that are actually surprising at times. They become close and they become friends and care about each other. And then if someone's absent for a period of time, they're asking, where's so-and-so, or what happened, or are they coming back, or whatever it is, and it's very important that they make those connections and have those goals, so and that's the nice part about our programs too, is we all kind of have our own little niche as far as like population wise and kind of who we service. So the Fall River sites, even though we have 2 in the city, they're both a little different. The day-to-day is the same, our schedule of events and when we have meals and when meds are passed, and those things are the same, but the population is a little different. So you'd see at one program, it is a little bit more elderly, and you're gonna see more of that dementia, Alzheimer's population, more hands-on needs as far as medical. And then the other program, you're gonna see a little bit of a younger population, and it's more mental health, a lot more behaviors, a lot of cueing and redirection and managed behaviors. Everything's managed, but a lot more of that. And then our Rainham site's even a little bit more different. They have a veteran population that right now our Fall River sites don't have. So there's this pool of veterans, which is really nice and different. And again, that's a wide range too. We have some younger vets, we have some older vets, and we deal with behaviors with them, some PTSD, things like that. But then she's also got some aging olders, elderly with dementia and Alzheimer's and memory loss, and she also has some younger mental health clients. So it's a very wide range. But it's nice because we kind of can, especially with the 2 Fall River sites, we can try people at either site and see where their best fit is and see kind of how they're feeling at which site and what makes the most sense for them.
Great. So a few things, I'm taking a few notes here out of what you just mentioned that I want to sort of come back to. So you spoke a little bit about our Fall River and Rainham sites. We just, in the month of May, and our viewers are seeing this in June, we just opened up SeaView, which is our newest facility in Mashpee, Massachusetts. SeaView incorporates both the Adult Day Health Program and a few of our other agency programs that had formerly been housed in Hiatus have moved.
Correct,
there.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about this new Adult Day Health facility. I've visited. It is beautiful. It's bright. It's welcoming.
It is.
And how's it going so far? How are clients receiving it?
So far so good. We've only been open for just about a week, so we're just kind of getting our feet wet. But so far so good. We're starting slow. We didn't want to bombard staff and throw 40 new clients at them. So starting very slow and just having a few clients a day to get the staff acclimated and the clients acclimated with being there and start to get into that daily routine and whatnot. But so far so good. It's a beautiful site. The agency did a phenomenal job with, making it exactly what was needed for an adult day health. The need on the Cape is extraordinary. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, there were adult day health programs down there, and they all closed their doors. So SeaView is the only adult day health model program right now on Cape Cod. So that's huge. It's huge for family services. It's huge for the Cape the Cape in general. They've been kind of pounding on our doors for the last 6 to 8 months when they knew that we were doing this, when they found out that we were going to be opening this program. When are you going to open? When are you going to open? And as everyone knows, there's a process to opening and securing we're licensed through DPH, so the Department of Public Health, so they had to come out and survey us and make sure that's all set. And there's just so many things you have to do before you can open your doors, so we're also licensed through Mass Health, so getting that licensure and then being able to enroll Mass Health participants. So we're working towards all of those things and getting ready to fill our building, because we will be full. That will happen. I'm hoping within the next couple months we'll be at our capacity. The capacity at that site is going to be 47. And I'm excited to kind of see this through. It was definitely a new endeavor for the agency as a whole. We've never opened a program ground up like this. We've taken on programs. We've gone from a social day to a medical day. This was many, many, many years ago. But this was the first one that we kind of started from its infancy, found the building, put our dreams on paper and made it a reality. So it's very exciting to now see it finally, the doors open and clients in the building. It's been a wonderful experience. Super, the community has been so welcoming on the Cape. They've just welcomed us with open arms. They're so excited to have the service back down there. So, I'm very excited to be able to partner with some more community services down there that need us, and to kind of learn that area. I don't know the area very well myself, so to learn it and to know, okay, this is a fun spot to take them on an outing, or this is a great place to order pizza from for them here and there, or whatever, so it's great. Fortunately, the staff that we've hired down there, they're from that area. The coordinator lives in Mashpee. He's lived there his whole life, so it's great because he is able to, he knows the resources. He can pull from the resources and build those great connections because he's been there. So that's really good and exciting.
Terrific. So talk to me a little bit about the activities. You referenced
Sure.
outings, and I know that COVID has put a bit of a damper on when, where, and how we can take clients out. But
Sure.
I have visited a couple of centers, and I've seen karaoke happening. I've seen, and it's a blast watching folks just enjoy, across age groups and across, types of needs that they're there for. They all had fun with the music. So tell me a little bit more about those types of
music's
things.
definitely their favorite by far. They love to have that outside entertainer come in and perform for them, or perform with them and do karaoke, as you saw the time that you came out. And we try to do that, but unfortunately COVID has put a little bit of a damper on that. We have to be careful with visitors and things like that, but we do tons of activity. Therapeutic activity is really the basis of what adult day health is. So you may come in and visualize an activity and go, oh, well, they're throwing a beanbag. Like, what does that have to do with adult day health? But for some of these folks, that is so much exercise for them. They're getting up, they're out of their seat, they're, taking their arm, they're throwing a beanbag, they're walking back to their seat, they're sitting back down. Whereas if they were home, they'd probably be sitting in a recliner in their living room with their feet up, watching TV all day. So those range of motion games that really get them up and moving, and that's kind of what our mornings consist of. There's a lot of movement in the morning, whether it's beanbag toss or bowling or frisbee or dancing because we have music and entertainment, or whatever it is. We have them moving and using muscles that they would not normally use if they were home. Super, super, super important. And we want to keep them. Our biggest goal with our clients is to keep them in the least restrictive environment, which is home. we want to keep them home, whatever home looks like, whether it's their home, whether they're in an AFC home, whether they're in an assisted living or a group home, whatever it looks like, that's their home, and we want to keep them there. So that's why the range of motion activities are so important for them, and that's why that nursing coverage is so important for them. We also do, obviously, a lot of activities that are cognitive. We want to keep that brain working and, you know, not atrophying, and keeping them thinking and using parts of, you know, if we're talking, doing reminiscent group, you know, making them think back to when they were 25, you know, and what did you do for work, or when, you know, how old are your children, or making them really kind of think and whatnot. And then we obviously, bingo's a big one, you know, everyone loves bingo, so of course they're going to participate in bingo, you know, a couple times a week, and they love that, and you know, and we would never take it away because, you know, staff may get a little sick of calling bingo numbers, but for the most part, you know, we make it fun, you know, and we have fun with it, and we'll do bingo, but we'll do different types of bingo. So the holidays roll around and they'll do a Christmas bingo or a Valentine's bingo and try to just incorporate something different. But there's so many other games that they'll do cognitive wise, you know. Maybe they're sitting there doing Yahtzee, you know, and they have to kind of like look at those dice and figure out, did they get any of the things off of their sheet? And, you know, we're really trying to keep that brain working and, you know, making them really think, and we help them. So we don't expect that everyone's at the same level. They're not. So if, you know, one client's sitting there and they've got their bingo card in front of them and they can't recognize the numbers anymore, a staff is going to sit with them and they're going to help them, and they're going to point to the number for them, but allow them to put the chip on the number. And maybe the next time they will realize that that's number 10, you know? So it's not that they have to be independent or anything like that. That's what we're there for, is to kind of work them through these activities. Same thing with those range of motion games. If, you know, I'm standing here and asking them to throw a beanbag, say, to you, Christina, you know, and that's too far, okay, then we get a little closer. Or if that's too close because they've got a good arm, then we take a step back, and we, you know, we adapt everything to whatever the needs are for our clients. So it's very adaptable, and the staff are amazing. They are quick on their feet to know, like, okay, we've got to change that right away. Like, that's not going to work. Or this one needs help. I can see they're getting frustrated. Let me go over and, you know, walk them through this, and how can we fix it, how can we make it better. So lots of very important pieces to what our staff do on a day-to-day basis, and recognizing those little, you know, quirks with certain clients, and, you know, okay, this one really doesn't like bingo and today's a bingo day, so we're going to set them up with a word search before we even start, so that they're focused on that and not bothered by the bingo that's going on, or whatever it may be. So there's a lot of, you know, individualized activities too.
Great. So that's actually a great segue. I was going to sort of take a step back, where you noted that you've been doing this for 15 years with FSA.
I have.
And that's, as a newer member of the agency staff, that's one of the things that I'm most impressed by, is both the longevity of staff who are with us and how staff have worked their way through the ranks. So you coming up yourself, having worked in the adult daycare sites and now are overseeing these 4 sites. Tell me a little bit about what you look for in your staff. You know, we're really careful and selective about who we hire, and
yeah, we are. So I look for energy. I think that for the adult day health programs, you have to have some energy. You have to be willing to kind of think on your feet and to work through issues, because every single day is very different. A big thing, and all of my staff will tell you this, is I am all about team. Nothing is not your job. Everything is your job, you know? So we are gonna work together, and we're gonna get through it together. This has been a trying time for adult day health, you know, for the last 2+ years with COVID. It's been difficult. We've seen some really rough things. We've closed, we've reopened. We're still wearing masks in adult day health program every day because we are medical. So we follow the same regulations as DPH. Just as if you were going to a doctor's office, you have to have a mask on when you're in our facilities right now. That has wore on everyone, you know, so they're constantly telling clients to make sure their masks are on appropriately and things like that. So I really look for good energy, and I really look for team. Because if you're having a bad day, your clients are going to know you're having a bad day, you know? And if you are having a bad day, then I want your teammates and your peers and the coordinator of the site to be able to kind of say, all right, that staff's just having a rough one today. Like, we're going to pick up their slack, and tomorrow they're going to be better, and it's going to be because we supported them through whatever's going on right now, you know? So it's super important, especially with everything. Like, I don't want to see burnout in them, you know? So it's just really that teamwork is so, so important for me.
Great. And a little tangential plug, we are recruiting for positions in the adult day health centers, right?
Yes, we have, I think, pretty much everything available right now. Nursing positions, floor staff, program aides, things from full-time to just per diem. Like, if you just want a few hours a week, or you want to make your own schedule, per diem works for people really well at times. So we do have, you know, positions available at, I believe, all 4 of our ADHs right now. So, you know, you can check our website and see what we have.
That's www.frfsa.org. And one of those positions that we'd be recruiting for is transportation. We haven't touched on that yet as an amenity to these programs, is that we are able to provide transportation to many of our clients to get them to and from programs. And again, taking some of that burden off of families about worrying, you know, to get mom, dad, or whomever out the door and there in the morning. And
yeah, so we are super lucky. We own our own vehicles, we have our own fleet, and we have amazing van drivers. The care that they put into our clients is amazing. They're first on the scene and they're last on the scene. So they're our first eyes and our last eyes of those clients. And they know if a client is off. You know, they see them. It's amazing, the connections that our drivers make with our clients and our participants. What sets us a little bit aside from other transportation companies, or whatever you want to call it, is we're door-to-door service. So at every single stop, our drivers are getting out of their vehicles. They're helping our participants on and off that van. They're making sure they're seatbelted properly. They're doing all of those extra things that some other companies don't do. They're called curb to curb. So it's kind of, they're expected to be waiting there and get on their own. That's not the approach that we have through Family Services. Same thing when they get to the sites, and in the morning and in the afternoon, staff are helping load those vans. It's the same, you know, we're helping them on and off. Because we have our own fleet, we can provide both ambulatory and wheelchair transportation, which is really a nice thing too. That we have the wheelchair transport. A lot of people don't know that, so that's definitely a plug for us too, that we have the wheelchair transport, and we have the lift. So if someone doesn't necessarily need wheelchair, but the stairs to get on the van is too much, they can just ride the lift up and then sit in a regular seat and ride the lift down, you know. So a huge important service that we are able to provide for our adult day health programs within our own agency. We don't have to contract that out. So that makes a very big difference too.
Great. So we're running down to just a few minutes left here. So let's wrap up with, you know, what our viewers might need to know about how they can enroll a friend or family member who may need care. Who do they reach out to, and where do they start?
So they can reach out to me if they'd like. I oversee all the programs, so then I could put them in contact with the coordinator of the site, or they can reach out to the site directly. All of the site information is on our website, you know, because all of our facilities are on there. So you can go on and see the addresses and the phone numbers for all the sites. If you're going to call the site directly, I would definitely ask to speak to a coordinator and or a nurse if the coordinator is not in at the time. Usually what we do is we like to set up tours. So we usually take some information over the phone, and the coordinator will set up a time for whether it's a caregiver or a group home manager or whomever it is, to bring the client in. It's usually about half hour to an hour tops. An hour's long. But they come in, they see the facility, we put eyes on the client, we get to kind of meet them, see if we feel they're going to be appropriate. We take some information. If they're their own legal guardian, we'd have them sign a disclosure for their primary care doctor. And then we kind of take the ball from there and start working on paperwork and getting what we need to get them enrolled. But usually we always start with a tour, because we want them to see the facility. They have to feel comfortable with where they're going to be, and so does the family, the caregiver, the group home, or whatever. You're not just going to plop your loved one anywhere. So we want them to come in and make sure that they're comfortable with us and that they're comfortable with our facility. That's really, really important. It's kind of like bringing your child to a daycare center. You know, you wouldn't just pick one out of thin air. So we want you to come in and meet us and become part of our family. That's our big thing is when we enroll a new participant, they've just gained about 50 family members, you know, 30 to 50 family members. And we treat them that way. We care for them. We truly, truly, truly care for their well-being and who they are and what their needs are. So it's very important to get them into the door and see it and to try it, you know. It's a struggle sometimes. Sometimes the family really needs it, but the participant doesn't want it or doesn't think that they need it. Mm-hmm. And they have to trust us to know that they're going to be safe. They're going to be okay. This is going to take a few times to get them in and get them feeling good before they're in our routine.
Right, right. And you'd mentioned Mass Health a little earlier. If a family has a fear of what this is going to cost, many insurance companies, both Mass Health and private, will cover these services on a part-time or full-time basis.
So Mass
correct?
Health covers it, yep. And then any senior care option plan covers it. We have private pay rates. We also have contracts with like Bristol Elder Services, that we'll have a contract with Cape Elderly Services, Old Colony Services, that do have some funding. A lot of private, just straight private insurances right now, unfortunately, do not cover Adulti Health, which is something that I wish I could battle and win, but I haven't had that success. But Mass Health does. And like I said, we have some other funding sources. The VA covers it, so the Veterans Administration will cover it. And we work with that. We'll go over costs and all of that when we do the tour if they're not on Mass Health, so we can go over all those things.
Great. Okay, well, I think we are just about wrapped up on time. So Nikki, thank you for joining me. Thank you for going through my first Family Focus hosting gig with me.
No problem.
Very much appreciated. And so to our viewers, thank you for joining us. And I do very much look forward to continuing this conversation with you about other programs that our agency offers. And again, you know, we hope to be a resource to the Southeastern Massachusetts community with our experts and the information that we can provide that will help make your lives and your family's lives a little better. And you know, that's the mission of FSA, is to strengthen families and individuals. So thank you.